Good morning. Hi, everyone. I hope that you're all well. Just share my slides really. Perfect. So it's quite an exciting moment for us. We've done these talk digitals for many months now, but as Dave said, it's the first time we've really had a more major session and also had some further guest speakers. So thanks very much for joining, and look forward to an exciting morning. Hopefully we'll be able to impart some knowledge, share where we're trying to move forward, and then discuss kind of some of the other edges of insurance that are not quite so mainstream, but we feel are really moving us in the right direction. Just a quick introduction, for those that don't know me, I'm Graeme Howard. I'm the Chief Technology and Information Officer here at Covéa. I've been here about 20 months now, and scarily, I think, after having moved up from down south to Halifax to be closer to sort of my peers and the majority of my team, I've been in lockdown nearly as long as I've been, half my time I've been working here, which is quite ironic, I find. But other than that, I've really enjoyed my time working here, and I think this is a unique opportunity we have at Covéa and the digital arm that we're in, just to change the insurance industry, and that's really why I joined. It's my first role in insurance, but it's a very exciting opportunity in front of us, and I think it's an exciting company to be part of, in an industry that's probably not got the best reputation for being exciting and digitally transformative, but that's a big part of why we're here and what we're talking about today. So just moving on, who are we? What is Covéa Insurance? Covéa was formed in 2012. It was part of MMA and Provident initially, and then bolstered by the acquisition of Sterling Insurance. We hold one of the largest portfolios of insurance products for an UK insurer, across all the personal lines areas of home, motor, home, pet, high net worth, as well as a whole full product suite of commercial insurance offerings, as well as protection products as well. Although we do quite a lot of business, we're not hugely well known because most of our business is through brokers, intermediated work, and more over the last few years into affinity partnerships. So although we might not be hugely known as a direct brand, we have over 2 million policies in the UK, and we've been working, I guess, for over 60 years. One of our major, I think, elements is claims and our customer experience, customer service. It's very high on our agenda. It's always the number one piece that we're looking at to drive forward with. And I think the ability, but the fact we're backed and owned by Covéa France, one of the largest insurance mutual companies in Europe, really gives us the ability to be a little bit different, and try a different strategy. We're not as large as some of the other major UK insurers, and so while there's downsides to that, there's also huge advantages in the fact that we can be more nimble, more agile, and able to change our approach and the way we do business maybe a little bit quicker than some of the other larger insurers. So we're looking at capitalising on that, and Covéa really is bought into changing the way that we operate, and trying to change the insurance industry, for the better, not just for the company, but for the actual end user. And there's a lot of work to be done, I think, from a customer standpoint in that area, and we're trying to lead forward into that. So what is Covea Digital? Covea Digital is something that we set up earlier this year, at the start of this year. I was keen that the IT department, as it was to me is a little bit an old-fashioned way of operating, and I'm not sure that really it depicts what we're doing. And we're not just supporting people's laptops or building infrastructure out here. We're trying to change the face of insurance through disruptive and innovative technology, and I feel that just cause an IT department doesn't really do us justice. It doesn't really set the right tone. So one of the big pieces I wanted to do was try and change the culture. And I think since I joined in February last year, we've been moving forward, and we've taken the opportunity that's been presented to us to be able to change that industry and to change how we're moving forward, and to drive forward, and to be different, and to embrace the opportunity to change the digital workplace. We are making progress. We're not the finished article. I think that's definitely fair to say, but we have come a huge way on our transformational journey. But there's a huge amount of transformation to do. But we were honoured, I think, last week to win the best place to work in digital for a large organisation at Computing's Digital Technology Leaders Award. So very proud of that and proud of the team, the organisation that we've managed to. We've got some accolades on our transformational journey, although as I said, we've still got a long way to go. So what is Covea Digital? What do we do? We're a fairly large organisation and large part of the solution of Covéa itself. We do all sorts of things from digital product, DevOps, we do data science, analytics, engineering, architecture, service, alerting, monitoring, experience. We have UX labs. We have a whole host of different elements, and again, it's really forming into a slick organisation. But we are very much agile led in our new development, but we also have a lot of legacy platforms and operational systems that we need to look after and sympathetically transform into the future. So although we talk a lot about what we're doing on the new platforms and the way we're changing insurance, we also have a lot of exciting and really important work that we do around just looking after our systems, ensuring that we can be compliant, that we can change the systems that we have and update them to meet the modern world. So quite a lot of bimodal transformation happening where we might be building something new, but we're also building it into our legacy platforms too, so we can still support the existing systems. We've done a lot, I think, in the last 18 months in particular around building out lots of elements of our strategy, building out the platforms, the foundational elements. We've done a lot of work in the COVID times. I think we managed to get 98% of our frontline workforce at home within the first sort of week of lockdown, which was a massive accolade, I think, to the service organisation. We could see where things were going, and we managed to get all the contact centres pretty much working from home very quickly, which I think it's about attitude. We had the attitude of can do, will do. We could have easily come up with lots of reasons why we couldn't make it work, but I think people's mindset was in we will make this work, we will make this operate in the right way, and the teams really pulled together to allow that to happen, all the way across the different operating systems. So we've delivered a lot of different elements. We've moved some infrastructure, we're on a journey to cloud, doing lots of interesting parts. We've also built out some pieces, with our first ethanol solution for motor customers. Just delivered an auto set function, so you can get a text message to accept on a total loss, for example. So a lot of interesting pieces happening. But I think the major piece that we're looking forward to, we're just about to finish the development of our first new policy admin solution. So we're working with an affinity partner. In the last 18 months, we've built from base level ground up a whole brand new policy admin solution. It won't be live till in the new year, but we're very close to development done. So I'm particularly proud of the fact that we've managed to build something from nothing in the space of 18 months, whilst doing a lot of other things as well. So that's we're definitely starting to move ourselves forward and actually start delivering on some of the ideas and pieces of work we put into place. So that's all brilliant to be a fantastic digital department, but how does it fit with our business strategy? Our view is that we want to try and drive our growth from affinity partnerships and ecosystems, and I'll come back to ecosystems a little bit later, because I think it's a foundational key to how we move forward, and I think it bleeds in quite nicely to some of the areas we're going to be talking about throughout the day as well. Customer experience at the start is paramount to Covea the company, and obviously to the digital team. We want to do the best we can to support customer experience and digital experience across all our platforms. So with the customer at the heart of what we're doing, it's key that we allow them to interact with us in many ways. Data is absolutely the number one. It's number one to me on many different areas. Without data, we can't do anything really, and it's the ability to ingest data, to share data with other people, and that's kind of where it really kicks in for me with that ecosystem. It's the sharing of information, you know, in a safe and secure manner that allows us really to build and grow. The agile capability is huge. Agile development is one thing, but it's the agility in the purest term of being able to move and pivot. That should be our advantage, and we're trying to build that into the systems and the processes that we're making, so we can be more efficient and we can be more capable to change direction if we need to, based on business needs. So the strategy seems to align very well with our digital strategy, but driving into what is our purpose. Our digital purpose is to create a world-class insurance as a service product that our customers love and delivers as business goals. The aim is to create a extensible and reusable insurance platform that can support all our lines of business and sell insurance on more than one platform at the same time. The idea being, as I said at the start, that we have quite a wide and diverse general insurer, so we have many different products. We want to be able to have one platform that can sell all those products with the single customer viewpoint there. So if you whatever you've bought from us, we know what you've bought from us, and we can talk about it with you, share that data in a single concise manner. So that's our real purpose, is to drive that insurance as a service platform out to support customers and our internal staff. So just looking at our digital objectives, breaking that purpose down to a different layer, we're looking to build those best-in-class platforms, the flexible products. We've decided to, rather than purchase software platforms or SaaS products from insurance resellers, we are building our own solutions. So we're using a microservices architecture and building everything from the ground up. Obviously, that takes a little bit of time, and in some ways, you can think that it's more simple to buy and configure something, but we have flexibility by following this approach and the ability to pivot and meet the business objectives that I talked about a little earlier. The second piece we're really driving is to deliver our affinities. We see our growth through affinity partners, and we have a couple already, and we have more in the pipeline. And it's a great way for us to be able to use the flexibility of our platform to rebrand portals, applications, solutions very quickly and easily and to configure to support different affinities, brand requirements, and different service offerings. So a lot of work in those areas, building on the platforms. Again, as I said, the customer experience has to be at the heart of everything that we're doing. We're looking to be the insurance industry leading platform for customer experience. Obviously driving continued improvement and a digital workplace. It's hugely important that our staff can communicate and collaborate with each other. To me, it's no good us just building amazing platforms that support the customer if all our internal customers aren't really getting any benefit from the solutions that we're providing, and we're not giving them that collaborative and open workspace to operate in. And then finally, obviously, trying to free our people to add value. There's a lot of laborious and repetitive tasks that any company has to deal with. So we're really trying to ensure that we measure ourselves on how we can alleviate some of those tasks and get people freed up from a more repetitive task to actually either service the customer, speak to somebody, add value in the role they're doing rather than doing something that we can automate. Obviously, it takes time to do that, and it's not always as simple. But we're striving to ensure that we're always thinking of these 6 kind of objectives whenever we're deciding how to build something, what to prioritize, how to move forward. It's all based around that. So what does that mean? What are we actually doing? We created a series of platforms that are our Covéa platform universe, and we've built them up in the manner so that we can talk about this hopefully in a more simplistic way. The way we're looking at it is that we have key platforms for claims, for policy and for pricing. Those are the sort of three key, I think, insurance type platforms. We also got one around Earth, which is technology. It's our people, and how we can help that digital workplace, how we can make sure the corporate tools work, and it's very much the interaction between the different elements, how it operates, how we work with each other. I think as well one of the most important platforms that isn't one that's maybe used as much by end users or by a customer is a data platform. To me, data is one of the most important parts of our universe. It's key. It underpins everything else, and how we've creating our data lake, how we're creating access to data, so that we have that, we can create that single customer view. We can share data with different partners, with different, I guess, different organisations that we want to work with in a safe and secure manner. But it's having that access to data at our fingertips. You'll hear from Tom later on if you choose the breakout session around AI and fraud analytics, about some of the exciting things that we're doing with that. It's definitely an area I think that we really want to push hard with, and that we feel that we've got a long way to go, and we can really change a lot of how we're operating by using these type of solutions. But our claims platform, it's really around that kind of end-to-end customer journey. Once you have a claim, you're obviously not, and it's not a great time for anybody to be having an insurance claim. So the easier that we can make those transitions, the easier we can make that customer journey through automation, through self-service, through many checks and different elements that happen in the background, just to make that whole experience for the customer that much simpler, that much easier. And in essence, normally the end point is getting a payment to them as quickly as possible. If you've crashed your car, or someone's crashed into your car, and you want to know that you're going to get your money back, you're going to get a replacement car, you're going to get a hire car, whatever it is in that process, the slicker and easier it is, just the less hassle it is as a consumer. So we're really trying to make sure that's an underpinning part of what we're doing, that we're not looking at just replacing the platforms that we've got with a newer, quicker solution. We're really looking at changing the whole experience. As the policy platform, the first version of that is almost done, but it's around reducing the question set that we've got. I mean, how can we get more data from you quickly, that you don't have to fill in form after form or submit lots and lots of data. It's really around kind of just making that experience slicker, easier, more useful, more mobile friendly, just trying to move insurance forward, and just make it different, whether or not you need it for it's a 12-month policy, or it's a 10-minute policy because you need to drive your friend's car. From a platform perspective, we don't want to be able to. We want to be able to differentiate that and just offer those different types of solutions. So when other people come up with some great product ideas, our platform should be extensible and reusable to allow us to do that. So it gives us the opportunity then to see products in different ways, without being locked into it's a monthly policy, it's a 12 monthly policy, and you have to pay in a certain manner. We're designing our systems to be different, to enable us to operate in a different way. Not suggesting that necessarily the products are ready for that yet, but if the platform's able to support it, I think it then enables us to drive into a different way of operating. Moving on, I guess, so that's our platform universe. But what does it really mean? So we're looking to try and drive it, a digitally driven ecosystem. To me, this is the crux of everything that we're trying to achieve. It's around the ability for us to have our platform, our core, our solutions. And on the left you can see it's around data, it's insights, it's all the information that we have from talking to our customers, from the data sources that are available, from pricing, from other insurance type information we might have. But on the outside, there's a whole host of additional information that we could be obtaining and using in the right manner and an ethical way. But this is where I see we couldn't possibly expect to have all the information about a customer to know what they could or couldn't do. There's all sorts of different sensors, IoT devices, mobile information that's available, and there's all sorts of different segments outside of standard insurance that I feel, and I think we feel, that we should be pushing into to enable us to offer services that are differentiated and are personalised to what somebody really wants. I think when we get into the next session, it should be really key to see how the different products can be sort of bundled together to really add value, that they're more than their constituent parts. And this is an area I feel that the architecture that we've selected really allows us, and will allow us in the future, to be a partner of choice, to be able to help either host an ecosystem of services or to be just part of an ecosystem of services. We're very much events driven, and we can accept data, we can accept events, or we can pass events back out to others, and it's a very open exchange of information with trusted partners. And I think that to me is how we will grow from just an insurance product to an additive product that really will help us drive forward. So that's just an example. So what I'm going to talk next about is pet insurance. So quite relevant to where we're going. I see this as being like a really interesting area, and not really what you might classify as straight up insurance service and insurance product. But if we think of the pet being at the centre of a pet ecosystem and a pet universe, obviously we can insure the animal, and that's a transactional service that we can do, and there's lots of work we can do around how we can improve the service. We can make the claims journey and the policy purchase much better. There's pricing ways we can do it, but around an animal, for example, there are so many different services that can be offered. So there's information around food and diet, the size and the weight of the animal. There's veterinary data that's available, and all this is freely available. And there's companies that specialize purely in food for specific animals, and particular dogs, for example, different types of dogs, different diets that really are complementary to that animal. So if we then start to think, well, we've got lots of information around insurance. If we then start to pool and share data around dietary requirements, information from what's happening with vets for animals over certain weights, if they're certain sizes, are they prone to different things? Can we be preventative in what we're doing? If you then start to scale that up, and you think, well, there's quite a few different new solutions coming out. Heart rate monitors, chips in animals that can say how stressed an animal might be. There's some diagnostic data around how animals are behaving when they're at home or when they're in the vets themselves. There's all sorts of information that starts to build up, and if we start to layer this information in with information, hereditary type information around what's do certain breeds do they expect, what conditions do they have, what information do we have around certain species of animals, which is way beyond what an insurance product would normally be thinking about. But it's that scaling of information. And then you think, well, hold on, there's a load of IoT type of information. There's smart feeders for animals, smart toys. Some people have got cameras at home that are monitoring their pets. That when they can see how they're walking. Is there an issue with how they're walking? And building on really then, to tracking. There's all sorts of microchips. There's changes in chipping capabilities. Activity tracking. Is your pet healthy enough? Are they moving enough? And then we'd start lifting it up into a whole other level. There's biometric data that's available with alternative therapies, and even down to genealogy. You can have blood tests taken, understand the history of the pets, and if you put all that together, then you really start to have a whole host of information where I think that we can have that ecosystem where we could have a much better pet insurance product that's working with people like First Vet to say, well, if we share that information, we can help ensure your pet is much better protected, and then hopefully you won't need to have to go to a vet to look at something. You might be able to assist that animal with a better diet, or there's AI applications, there's a whole host of things around this, but we can offer better services and work as an ecosystem where insurance is just part of that, but it fits all in, and we're sharing the data between us. And I think that, just as an example in the world of pet, is somewhere where we can really strengthen that, and our ability to be open and track and trace information with other providers, and insurtechs in particular, I think is really key to how we can move forward and change insurance from from less about insurance to more about prevention. Because at the end of the day, the last thing we really want, if anyone, is to have a claim. We'd much rather try and fix it, be it your pet, your home, your car. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's getting to prevention rather than claim. Right. So what next? Hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into some of the things that we're thinking about, how we're trying to move forward. I know it's going to be a fascinating session, and with Tracy and David shortly. I mean, that's a fantastic solution in itself, and it's an exciting part. And hopefully that gives you a feed into that. And then with Caroline later talking about innovation, and then some of the superstars of Covéa talking about, I guess, the disruptive engineering and data science, and then UX, and how I guess insurtech and disruption. Hopefully interesting sessions, and I will be back at the end just to close things out. But appreciate everyone's time and attendance today, and I look forward to some of the next sessions. Thank you.